Thoughts and opinions, recap the shows we love,
Having too much fun.
Bravo should be fun.
and have piping hot gossip sessions about the celebrities and Bravo lebs we love, hate, and love to hate.
He went on a podcast claiming he had a threesome with two women from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Immediately, I was like, I wonder if it's Brandy and Carlton.
I'm Caitlin Marshall, your pop culture and Bravo bestie.
Allegations, allegedly allegations.
And if you enjoy fun conversation between friends, listening to your bestie rant about shows we can't get enough of, plus enjoy a little bit of, well, ridiculousness.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. There's a spider that is coming down. Hold on.
It's like the Blair Witch Project.
Oh my God. Has anybody seen my ring?
Oh my God.
I don't want to ruin the party or anything.
Have you seen my ring? Oh my God. Can you look on the floor for my ring? God, John's gonna kill me.
Don't mess with me because I will come.
What? Oh.
Feel free to leave that in for whatever entertainment purposes.
You're in the right place. So thanks for joining me on Besties by Bravo. Hi, besties. Thank you for joining us today on Tuesday, August 20th. I do have to put in a little disclaimer. If you are watching on YouTube, I am in a different location. And if you are listening on audio and you happen to hear what sounds like elephants on my roof, that's because they are working on the roof and I didn't realize it until I got here. So, thanks for joining. And also, Georgio, thank you for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me on this beautiful Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna let me start with this at the top of the show, kind of get this out of the way. I've been a bit out of sorts. I've been a little quiet on social media, trying to do my best. I did find out that a very dear friend of mine from LA passed very unexpectedly Thursday, and I found out Friday. Her name was Maxie. Wonderful person, dear friend that I would spend a lot of time with in Los Angeles. And I also want to just add, because she was very involved in doing fundraising for things like Planned Parenthood or V-Day, I'll put a link in the show notes, just kind of in her honor. They've done write-ups on it in Deadline, Variety, Los Angeles Times, Hollywood Reporter on her passing. And I just want to also send love to her family and her fellow friends as well. Maxie Salters will be very much missed. Okay. So let's, so if I'm a little off today, there are reasons aside from the elephants on the roof. But let's get started with that Salt Lake City trailer. Whew. I'm sorry, but I think they blew New York out of the water.
By like a ton. Well, here's what I'm really loving about the Salt Lake City franchise. It feels like every season there's a new mystery to solve. Right. And it's very like, you don't know what you're getting into. It makes it interesting. They, in my opinion, are one of the few franchises that can collectively all fight with each other with having a major story arc for the season, and it doesn't feel boring because there's like just that trailer alone, there's so many memes and sound bites already, and the show hasn't aired, and that's, you know, they definitely clocked in for this.
Oh, honey, yes.
They are ready, and I am ready.
You know, to piggyback off of what you were saying, I love that point because it doesn't feel like they are all individually pushing their own storylines to try and be a star of the season. Does that make sense? You know, we see that so often, especially with our more seasoned housewives. You know, there was something so fascinating about how Meredith is very much the you can leave. And we have Mary kicking her out of her house. Mary and Meredith going head to head. That was something I was not expecting, especially God bless Meredith with that, what was supposed to be an Audrey Hepburn look. Interesting things. We love our Meredith. She may drive us nuts sometimes, but I mean, come on, she is still mother.
Of course. Of course.
Yes. And I had been hearing that a lot of people were going to be viewing Lisa Barlow differently, which I'm like, how? Baby gorgeous though. Her and Whitney really going at it. Her trying to snatch a wig off of Whitney's head at a lunch where they are all supposed to pretend to be Lisa Barlow. I mean, Salt Lake City, y'all, if you haven't gotten into Salt Lake City, even after last year, which, come on, I mean, they give you kitsch, they give you camp, but they also give you like very raw, real. Like Lisa Barlow is someone I don't think can fake a single reaction, you know? She's just so real.
That's why I love her, because it's in there for me. And so when it happens for her on camera, I'm like, yeah, I would absolutely be a shit show. Because like the funniest part about that is she's trying to snatch the wig off Whitney because she says, I'll be damned if you're going to disrespect Lisa Barlow in a Lisa Barlow wig. Do you understand? Take it off. That is just like a new level of like, it's just, you cannot tell me that that's not iconic already. It hasn't aired, but it's so iconic. They were just being like, I love that. And then when he's like, you put your lips on the backs of other people. Jeez.
I mean, honestly,
she must have been grilled about this a lot up until that point, though, because that quick, and also I loved at the end when she was like, your wife's a liar. And he's like, she is not a liar, at least. She's a liar. She's a liar.
I mean, it's like this lunch was giving the Pioneer Day times 20, because I thought we could not top seeing God bless Angie and her little Bo Peep look. And I mean, that was hysterical enough as it was, watching them just absolutely trying to eviscerate each other in bonnets, aprons, churning butter, which, God, I mean, they give iconic so much so often that it's like they are such fascinating characters as people, and I love that. I love that. Oh my God. You know, and now, Georgio, have you been watching Love Island USA?
No.
I don't feel like you have. Oh my God.
I haven't. I have been seeing a lot of reunion takes. I've been seeing clips. I just saw something on page 6 about it. So I feel
funny everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. I think our friend Jessie Nails might be coming on Thursday with me to talk about it, because she and I will like text back and forth the whole time about this. There were some really fascinating things that came from that reunion, yet also it was like, that was it? That was the whole reunion? Especially when you're trying to do a reunion with people who have only been reality stars in this setting where it's Survivor style filming. And they don't know how to do a scene and how to not talk over each other. So it wasn't the easiest, I think, to probably get good takes and edits from, if I'm completely honest. I think that's part of what it came from. But y'all get excited. Either way, if Jessie's on or she's not able to make it, I will be talking Love Island USA on Thursday, because I feel like there's going to be more coming out from all of it once some of the dust settles and some people start going, well, I gotta say this and I gotta say that. So, Georgio, you gotta watch it.
I know.
I mean, there are like,
it's just
there are
so
literally
many
37 episodes.
It's just like, it's on so much. It's like, it's an investment of time, you know?
I tell everyone, and this is what I told Jessie, because she was like, how am I going to sit here and watch this like That's a lot. I got into Love Island UK. I have been watching Love Island. I've seen every season from start to finish except for the first season. And I'm sorry, USA just absolutely blew UK out of the water this season. I may try and get back into the UK season right now, but it's only the first season and this season of UK that I have not watched from start to finish. And it's the best thing to have on, when you're working on other things, when you're folding laundry, when you're doing chores around the house, because somehow the important things will like get your attention. There's a lot of filler in between, but you don't really need to watch After Sun unless it's like someone major who just got voted off or excuse me, dumped from the island, or it was, Katie and Ariana being on there, things like that. So that eliminates quite a few episodes in and of itself. Just trying to give y'all some tips there. Well, Georgio, should we jump into Orange County?
Oh boy. Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah. Well, we find out when Emily meets Heather at this party store, because Heather, who's a self-proclaimed Buddhist Jewish person, is also going to celebrate Easter. I mean, do what you want to do. It's up to you. Anyway, Emily admits she went a little too hard on Jenn at the dinner. And why they didn't show this clip last episode, I don't know. They had plenty, but it would have been nice to have a sprinkle in there of it not being a whole thing on Shannon, because I think we would have had a lot of us would have had some different perspectives on what felt like an entire dinner that was a gang up on Shannon. Mm-hmm. And if we were able to see, well, Shannon's not the only one who caught heat, that would have been nice. But let's start here. Emily did have a point. I absolutely, if I were Jenn, would have sold this stupid ass Rolex if I am going to be evicted from the home that my children and I are living in. Okay. And see, this is the stuff I can understand why they get frustrated with her, because selling the Rolex probably would have paid off some of the back rent, depending. Now, I was doing some research. I could not tell what type of Rolex Jenn was wearing. She said it was gifted to her by Ryan. Now, Rolex, she clarified you have to, I forgot you're blocked by Instagram, Georgio. One of the only people that's ever blocked you. So it's, it was earned. You worked hard for that blocking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, thumbs up to that. But she said Ryan gifted it to her. And so I'm doing my research. Rolexes used can resell for anywhere from $5,000 to $75,000. And not $5, but $5,000 to $75,000. If Ryan gifted them to her, then I would think hers might possibly sell for around $7,000 to $10,000. Just my guess.
Or $300, because I don't believe that everything that she owns is
true,
authentic. I think, allegedly, that she's one of those people that skates in the gate or has someone that does it and sells it to her. I think Ryan, let me explain something. I'm not saying it's impossible that she would have a Rolex. Obviously not.
Not
but
authentic, yeah.
There's a lot of good fakes. And an old boss of mine who's very, 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 very well off never bought real ones anymore because he traveled and he didn't want to have to deal with the security issue. So a lot of wealthy people also will keep the real ones in a safe and get something close in terms of a replica to wear out and about. In the event that it's stolen, it's obviously no more than $500-$600. Because to be honest, if she's got one that's got to be wound up, then I'm not saying it's fake. But in Emily's defense, if it is real, she could get at least 10 grand for that watch. I don't know exactly the style, but that one that she had on, just from the bezel and the face, I do think she would have at least gotten 10 grand from it. And that would have put a dent, obviously. I think the issue is that, like when she showed up to the cafe to meet Gina and she's got the Gucci backpack and the fur boots, it's not looking good for you in the sense of like, you can't ask people to feel sorry for your situation when you're still showing up in glam, in name brand things, Rolex, whatever have you, and think that you're going to get the same type of response. People are going to look at you a little differently and be like, well, it must be not that bad because you're like, you're going to Vegas every other weekend. You've got a Rolex on, getting your hair done, your makeup done.
Okay. So real quick, I think she only went to Vegas the one weekend. Second of all, do you not remember that storyline with Alexis where she would wear her fake diamond ring and claim she had it back when she was a housewife and claim she had her real one in a safe, and the big hoopla about that? So how hysterical if Jen tried to claim.
She wouldn't, because last season Tamra called her out for wearing like
Fake.
the fake Fendi and the DH gate stuff. That's the only reason why I was just being petty about the watch. It could be real again.
I think you have a valid point in saying that, though.
But I'm just saying, even if it wasn't, the look, the vibe you're putting out, but in reality, you're like literally living at Ryan's house because there was no other option. I would leave the Rolex off. You know what I mean? Like I would tone. I think I said this. I would be wearing all black.
Yeah, keep it chic.
I mean,
slim and chic. What, you can't go wrong.
Just saying.
But Emily admitting in her confessional that she may have had a little, maybe one too many espresso martinis, and she probably shouldn't have been yelling across the table, "Pay your bills." My God, Emily. That's just okay. So Emily makes a point to Heather that Gina has a lot going on right now with Travis, and that it's probably why she wasn't stressing about making sure she killed the story with Katie. Okay, yeah, there is a point there, but at the same time, when does Gina not have some shit going on with Travis? And I'm not on Heather's side in this. Let me make that clear. But at the same time, I think Heather is probably tired of hearing, well, it's just Travis. Okay, I feel bad. And, then there was Matt, and then there was this. It's just, there always seems to be something for Gina to have an excuse. And again, I am not on Heather's side in this. This ridiculous at this point. I can't believe we're talking to this extent about the Disneyland paparazzi thing, because Heather trying to say how Gina was like, my children, to Shannon. Miss ma'am, that is such a big stretch. You're going to pull a hammy, okay? That is not even remotely the same thing as what Shannon was saying about Gina last season. She was talking about child protective services, and this is about whether or not you were trying to kill a rumor that Terry was cheating on you. Yes, is that terrible for your children to hear something like that? Of course. But my God, you're on a Housewives show. Those are the type of rumors you signed up to have them be subjected to, rumors, not CPS effing rumors. That's different. Not even close. Come on. It's giving poor little rich girl type of thing. Does that make sense?
I think also from Heather's perspective, she's going to dial this up a notch because I think she's just so annoyed by this whole thing that she's going to drag the kids into. I don't think her kids give a shit. I honestly don't. And I don't think Heather actually gives a shit. I think she knows how to be a good actress. She knows what is needed in the moment. And Gina handed it to her. And listen, Fancy Pants is not going to let Gina off the hook that easily when it's clear that she was just trying to take a punch at Heather through Katie. Because I really don't think, honestly, Katie didn't think this was going to blow up the way it did.
No.
I think she thought it was going to be some petty laugh. Even if it was not funny to Heather, I don't think she even thought it was going to turn into this. But like Gina showing herself in this moment with trying to act like she was like, oh no, I didn't. Yeah, you did, because you probably gassed Katie up to do it because you couldn't do it. You guys tried to do it last season. You couldn't. So now we've got this new girl. Let her go in because she's got a friend that, like, it was just a little too messy even for Gina.
Yeah, I think part of what can sometimes be Heather's downfall is Heather doesn't realize she doesn't need to grasp at the straws of little storylines that don't matter, like getting so upset over this stupid like acting job with Taylor and last year. It's just it makes it because here's the thing, when Heather's not doing that type of shit, I like Heather a lot. And so it's when she's hanging on to these random little things that it's like,
Mhm.
why are you grasping at straws? I find Heather interesting without any of that. And so I get frustrated when it almost just makes you feel like, God damn, Heather, it has to be in charge, in control of everything. And it gives a whole other connotation to Heather that maybe she's not even freaking realizing at this point. It's giving very rich boss lady when maybe she isn't even like that. I don't know, Heather. But when she's not being that way, she seems like a really kind person. And like she actually is very witty and intelligent. But when she does these things, it makes me nuts.
I think she's more like she was in the kitchen in La Quinta, where
That's what I would think and
she's
hope.
she's more down to earth than she portrays herself to be. And I think that's for a reason. She obviously understands the dynamics of entertainment. A lot of smart celebrities will put out a persona that is a little bit different from what they are in real life so that they feel like they still have a sense of self. I think that's a little bit too much for Heather Dubrow. I meant that more in the sense, I think she understands that
Erica
she's on
Jane.
television. She understands what her brand is, fancy pants, the champs. She goes and leans into it. And sometimes it's annoying because you're like, Heather, like the kid thing when she was trying to compare the paparazzi photo staging to the infidelity rumors to like Shannon talking about CPS on Gina's kids. Like,
I mean,
that is nowhere near the same thing, Heather. She knows that as well.
Yeah.
But she's also very good about later being like, you're right. I shouldn't have said that. You're right. And I thought about it. She's good at that. So in that regard, but I will say this too, Heather cannot carry a franchise on her own.
No.
That's one thing. And I'm not saying that to, shame her, but I do agree that we needed a Tamra back. We needed something else to link it all together because it was just not going to work when they first brought Heather back. And I think they wanted it to. Like, I think they wanted her to head it.
It goes back to the very same reason that I don't remember if it was Andy Cohen or another producer back when they would they did a whole thing on Orange County. This was many years ago. About the origins of it and how when Heather was first auditioning for this, she actually didn't get to be on the show. And their reason for not giving her a spot on the show was that they didn't feel she was ready to show her entire self the way they needed her to. They felt like she was still needing to put that wall up, put that shield up, which is understandable. I mean, reality TV and acting are two totally different freaking things. And so I think that part of her is still there. I think she's shown a lot of her moments. It's just, I find Heather more likable when she's not reaching for a storyline the way that she does. And I just would like to see her just chill out a little bit. And I like her commentary. She's like one of those people, she doesn't need to have a storyline to be interesting on the show. And it's very rare that we have someone like that. But just the fact that, one, she's beautiful and incredibly wealthy, but also has this really amazing personality when she will let us see it. I think I think that's enough. You know what I'm saying? Like her banter is good. I like that. And there are very few housewives that have that quality. Normally there has to be something so much more, but I don't really need her to keep trying to grasp at these straws, like we said. Okay.
I do. Hold on before you move on, because Jeff is in the comments.
Hi, Jeff.
Yes, hello. I wanted to bring this up because I wanted to ask you, did anyone notice that in this episode, no, wait, sorry, I skipped ahead. I looked at the sneak peek. In next week's episode, you guys, Gina's interview look is not the original. You can tell she reshot her interviews in the same look because the hair actually looks a lot better. But Jeff's asking
for those
what
on
our thoughts
audio,
on Gina's
Jeff,
post on her interview look. And I thought about this, saw this yesterday. I was driving to physical therapy. And I said to myself, you know, that damn Gina, she's playing this all kinds of right. Because she could be like hiding and, you know, mortified. But the fact that she made a post about it, addressed it,
appreciated
that. I have to this is what we want our housewives to do. We want them to play into it, because the minute they do, everyone's going to back off. And now that's going to become an iconic interview look because she leaned into it with humor. So, yeah.
Right. So for those of you who haven't seen, Gina made a post yesterday with a photo of that reunion, that interview look that Georgio and I were talking about.
Not the reunion look.
Oh, Jesus Christ. God bless. You know, I think everyone between the color of the hair, the color of this iridescent dress, and the many, many, many chains. Gina just straight up was like, you know what? I've had some looks that worked, but this one wasn't it. And she was like, I hear you. I didn't love it that much either. And well, now that I've seen it, you can't win them all. And I was like, okay, you know what, Gina? I'm very split on Gina because sometimes I think she can be such a real freaking asshole, the way she has been going in on Jen a little too much. But I really appreciated this, and she got such a freaking beat down this episode. I'm always going to be on the underdog side. I'm sorry. I can't help it. But my God, I so appreciated, just like you were saying, that she was like, not my best. Okay. Notes have been taken. And you know what I would love to see her do? If she could do a collab with one of those people, I'm sure there's one somewhere in like the Orange County area, or just go out to LA where they do color theory and they set you up with and find what your season is. They put the colors on you. I think that would be, whoever is working on marketing for one of those type of places, do a sponsored post with Gina, let her come out, because I think she is one of those people that would benefit from knowing what her colors are. You know, she and I have very different skin tones because she's got that Italian, you know, more of an olive tone. But she and I are similar in the fact that one of the ways you can tell, this is as a former hairstylist, there are two ways you can typically tell what type of tones suit someone. And one of the ways you can look at the veins in your wrist, if you have more like greenish veins, more bluish purple, which one? I have both. And then another way, if someone has light eyes, you look at them, you know, around the iris, if it's pupil, whatever, you know, if we would say if they have a sunflower or a daisy, if they have a daisy, you know, like more white around it, then that means they have cool tones, or that they should do cooler tones if they want to go blonde. And then the opposite, warmer tones, if they have that sunflower. I have both. So I have a feeling Gina is probably very similar to me, and she would benefit from someone giving her a color analysis. That's the word I'm looking for, a color analysis, where, you know, where they'll put the sheets of different colors under you and you see someone's entire complexion change. That's what she needs. Do that before a stylist, because then you could get a simple sheath dress. Doesn't matter. Keep it simple, but make it your color. The worst part was the color.
I think it's just she doesn't have her personal sense of style. It's almost like, what do we have on the rack today? Like, and it's just no, you know, because if you don't know your personal style, you're not going to know what doesn't look good on you necessarily, because you're shooting in the dark. I mean, listen, look what she wore to the cafe. Okay. Like, hi, you know, like, enough. Where are you even buying this shit? Like, that's what I want to know. Like, it's not even the clothing. Like I said, that one look that she had on, I think it was this episode where it was a white button down cropped.
Yes, that was cute.
With the wide leg black pant. That was it for me. I think that she needs to do more of those looks. I think she needs to play more. You know who she really should start mimicking some of her style? Maloney. I think Katie Maloney has a good, she doesn't have to go that edgy with it, but I think that is more the vibe for like Gina, because she likes to play, and that would have made sense, that interview look, just not that.
Yeah, you know, and let me also say this. I happen to be someone that doesn't have one particular personal style. Like, none of my friends and family can ever really be like, oh, I know what to buy for you from this store, even though it's your favorite store. They can never pick something out for me. It's more about learning your body type and your colors. You start there and then go with what you like in your realm, because a lot of times, as long as it fits and it's a good color on you, if it fits properly, a lot of times it's easy. And, you know, your style can change, but my God. Okay. All right. Enough about, yeah. Okay. So,
you know who actually has a really good book that helped a lot? Bless her heart, Nikki Hilton wrote a book called 365 Style by Hilton. And she explained a lot about how you build your wardrobe with your basics. You start with like basic neutrals and things like that. And then you build in color from there. So that way you have more understanding. So great book. Just made me think of that.
Good to know. I may have to check that one out. When Shannon shows up to shop with Gina and Katie, she's very upset.
We have a hoarse voice, Shannon?
I think she was drinking the night before.
I mean, would you have blamed
She
her?
sounded like she was drinking the night before.
At this point, Jesus. She's very upset. I mean, I would have gone home and now we're not hammering in on this DUI shit anymore. I'm getting exhausted of it. We can only bash someone's head in the wall like, you made this horrible mistake so many times before. I'm just tired of doing it. Yeah, it is definitely odd how two of the lawsuits that have been brought against Shannon in recent years have both had Alexis tied to them. You can't deny that. Now, here's the other thing. Like I said, we weren't going to talk about this freaking goddamn DUI. I'm so tired of talking about it. We're only 6 episodes in. But when Tamra's talking with Jenn on the beach, and this is the thing. And I know you love Tammy. Go Hammy. I love her too. But she is going way too goddamn hard. And I understand that she's upset because, again, if I personally had crashed my car drunk into someone's home, I would never drink alcohol again. I would never be able to. I would just be like, there is someone up there around me telling me not to. But here's what is why it's getting too much. Yes, I know there cannot, like Teddy said when she had Alexia on Two Teas in a Pod in place of Tamra, since Tamra can't really talk about the show on the podcast. Yes, there cannot be that type of anger without some love, but at the same time, you got to rein it in, because something about it, Tamra takes it so personally. When at the end of the day, once she severed this tie with Shannon, so far as she said, I'm not going to be your friend anymore. And she also said, I'm done with the Trace Amigas shows. It doesn't have anything to do with her anymore. If you really want to take a really far reach and say, well, Tamra's concerned about the longevity of the show because of all the lawsuits being brought against Bravo about drinking and this and that. But at the end of the day, she's taking it way too personally. Shannon is not drinking or not drinking for Tamra Judge. And that's the problem, is Tamra goes to this level that it is beyond personal. It's not necessary. If someone is screaming at you, being cruel in their words, you're not going to be like, well, whatever it is they're telling me I shouldn't do, I better stop doing it immediately. That's not, if this was not going to get her to stop doing it, Tamra Judge is not going to get her to stop drinking. If the DUI didn't, then Tamra isn't going to get her to stop. So Tamra is now just being an asshole to her at this point. There's not needed.
No, she is totally being an asshole. But here's where I think the context is missing from all of this is, and whether or not you like Tamra, doesn't matter. We know that she plays the villain because she plays it well and she's able to get things going, right? She knows when the lights, camera, action are on. They're at the dinner table. No one's going to bring it up. I'm going to bring it up. We're not going to sit here all night. She's very seasoned in that way. So I respect the ability for her to do that. Because again, she's another person I do not believe is like that from the minute she wakes up to the minute she goes to sleep. I think she's quite the opposite. I think she has a big heart. I think she's got a lot of empathy. We have to remember when Shannon had her DUI, Tamra was in contact with her and being supportive.
She had to go film Traitors. It's not like she could be like, oh, my friend got a DUI. I can't
from that, she still was supportive of Shannon. She didn't leave her in the dark once the DUI happened. She didn't do all of this once it came to pass. No, what happened was Tamra's been giving a lot of her energy and time to Shannon's problems, which we did learn last season. It wasn't only Tamra she was calling drunk, complaining about her life. Right. Everyone pretty much on the cast was like, yeah, she calls me too. Like, and even Heather with the vault of information that she was like accused of unleashing. The point is, at some point, Shannon and Vicky talked a lot of shit about Tamra behind her back in the midst of Tamra being there and trying to support Shannon, trying to give her like support. They have a long friendship as well. So it is personal. Unfortunately, it's happening on camera the way it is, but I honestly don't think if Shannon was in a different space altogether and this happened, I don't think that Tamra would have come in as hot and heavy.
Right.
That's my
and
thought.
Here, let me say, I also don't think Tamra is just an asshole. Do I think she's acting like one? Yes. Totally different. Two totally different things. Just like how my sweet, precious baby child can act like an asshole, but I don't think he's an asshole. And I'm not comparing Tamra to my child, Jesus Christ. Anyway, point being, it's the relationship Tamra can take personally. But at this point, a healthy adult who doesn't have an issue with alcohol and sees and is saying that they truly believe someone else does, if you are going to take your friend drinking alcohol or not, personally, that's a you problem at this point, because that alcohol is a them problem. That is their issue that they have to deal with. And you are only exacerbating an issue by continuously hounding her. It's not, if she truly wanted to help, she would not be saying the things she is the way she is on camera. If she did, she would have been sitting her down, because I think it's more Tamra's style in her real life to sit someone down. She would have come at it from a different place. Now, again, once you've taken the Trace Amigas out, once Tamra has decided she doesn't want to be friends with Shannon, then why are you doing it this way at this point? It is above and beyond, and it's not necessary. And the problem is it makes it very difficult to like Tamra as much when she's going this way about it. We need a villain. But guess what? We already have one. We have Alexis. I would like Tamra to pay. We do. Oh, yes. Alexis is a dumb villain, but she's our villain. I would rather see Tamra chill out a little bit to give herself some more longevity on the show rather than going this hard, because, honey, I'm sure you see the fans are turning, and I don't want that to happen again. We need Tamra on the show. We do. I don't care what anyone says. We need her on the show. We do.
Here's my thing.
She's necessary.
I don't know if I had a friend like Shannon who I did repeatedly support and sit on hours and hours of phone calls listening to her life that seemed to always be going down the drain. I'm sorry, but Shannon, get a fucking grip. You got a DUI. You drove into a house. These are facts. This is not throwing it in your face. then don't come back on the show. If you've talked shit about the other cast member that you know damn well, if you piss her off, she's going to come piss all over you and still show up to film knowing that Alexis Bellino is also going to be on the show. I'm going to sit this one out. You chose to come back in, and you came in like you were trying to, like, and I agree with Tamra. She should be glad Alexis is there, because if Alexis wasn't there with the John Jansen stuff, everyone would be hounding her on the DUI thing every chance they got. So in that respect, yes, there's balance, but I don't know if I would be any different, quite honestly. I'm not excusing the behavior, but if I was that at my wit's end with someone and you still are going to come into this playing field and play it off like you can have 2 drinks, it takes a level of elevation to remove yourself completely from that.
Yeah, I mean, I have had that friend. And at the same time, though, yeah, I think a lot of people have.
And I did exactly that. I was there, and then I got sick of the BS, and I said, no, I'm not going to be around you enabling this. But if I am around you and you're doing dumb shit, I'm going to call it out. I already tried to help you. It doesn't work. So this is the other avenue that Tamra's taking.
I think what it comes down to is what we see and what we don't see, right? Mm-hmm. What we see is that Shannon has not said a fucking word to Tamra at this dinner. And Tamra is the one who jumps in. Whether that's how it started or not, that's the only thing we can judge off of at this point.
That's Vicky's fault, though.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, Vicky's the one that brought up. She's like, you don't need permission.
Yeah, but Tamra didn't have to respond.
Like, that's what
no one was talking to Tamra.
What's that?
No one was talking to Tamra. No one said anything.
No, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of bringing it up, I think Shannon could have quietly ordered the drink and no one really would have noticed because of where she was sitting. It was Vicky that was like, you don't need permit, like, and it was making it a thing where it was like, okay, you're ordering a drink, really?
Well, yeah, I mean, but at the same time, there are 2 things that can be true at the same time, as we know. Actually, there are several things that can be true at the same time. That Tamra cares about Shannon, that Tamra is being an asshole and going too far, that Shannon needs to make changes that she's not making, and that Tamra is going too low when it's not needed. There's just so many factors into this that it's like, at the end of the day, I think I get very frustrated. Again, it's kind of like the Heather thing. Tamra's making herself look like an even bigger asshole than necessary. She doesn't need to be doing this much, you know? I just don't think it's as necessary as she's making it. But
am I wackadoodle to think that perhaps in some twisted way Tamra's doing this so that no one else has this much connection to Shannon to do this to her? Meaning, follow me for a second.
No, because she wouldn't be doing the Alexis shit along with it.
But
if
remember,
she weren't doing the Alexis shit, I'd be on your...
But in the way of thinking, right? If we're going to go into this, it's really shitty, right? And let's just say, God forbid, you drove into a house and you and I are not speaking, but we've known each other a long time. I know the levity of what you're going to be walking into. I'm already an asshole, per se, on the show. Let me go at you the hardest so it throws everyone for a loop. And then, in fact, garners you more sympathy, because isn't that what's happening? This is why I'm not saying this is what she planned. I don't think it was what you're saying.
And
but I'm trying to give everyone the better side of the coin here.
I know you're dying to defend Tamra. I know you're dying to. But this is where it stops, is because she's doing all this shit with Alexis. If that were the case, then Georgio, why the fuck are you talking to my ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend who won't stop talking about how much sex they're having? That is, I think, what is so...
But Tamra knew Alexis before Shannon, to be fair. So that's not
who cares? There are plenty of people I've known before you that you and I both know this.
Totally. No, come on. Listen, there's nothing. I'm not excusing the behavior from Tamra's part. I'm trying to find logic somewhere, because for me, it needs to, for you to go that hard, it is personal. I do agree with that, because I understand, yes, it's not her problem, the alcohol part, But I think when someone's been playing games a lot when it comes to this stuff, Shannon has. She kind of has.
but-
She dances around stuff, and now she has to sit with the consequences of her action. Not really. She kind
So
of
let her sit with the consequences of her actions and quit trying to be the judge, jury, and her parole officer. It's not your goddamn job, Tamra. Your job, Tamra, if you really wanted to do that, you should be talking instead about the lawsuit with John instead of attacking her for her drinking. You should be asking her about that. But we got to move on from this point. Okay. We got to move on from this because you and I will talk circles and we're capable of doing that for literally like 3 hours. Sometimes we have to remember we're actually on a microphone.
I mean,
Because
listen,
it
it needs to be its own studied episode of some sort.
If I have to hear Alexis Bellino say, Johnny J, Johnny, like, honestly, bitch, come on. Do you think, I don't, but I don't know. Hold on. Do you think Alexis is actually talking this much about Johnny J constantly off camera?
Yeah, I do, because he's got a big dick, and it seems like one of the types of women that like that will make her squeal through the roof every time she talks to him. So I do believe that is, I feel like that is just, he is taking care of her needs, and she is thrilled. The kitty cat is thrilled, and she is just ready to tell everyone about it. Everyone.
Well, then we are all on the way to our respective trips, right?
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth Vargas, Miss Ma'ams, you know what? I do feel like she should have gotten another shot. I feel like she and Noella are two people that deserved another shot at a season. I know a lot of people disagree with me, but I feel like they didn't get their proper goes. But Elizabeth, sweetheart, why did you just take your hair out of a ponytail? Look at these women showing up in glam. This you could have come back on as a friend of if you made an effort.
It's not her style.
I know. And I'm not trying to criticize someone's just like straight up appearance, but it's like, you could have left your hair as is and run a quick curling iron through. You could have worn what you were wearing. I don't care.
Gina's on the show, and look how she dresses. Elizabeth would have been fine. That wasn't the issue. Come on.
It's not the clothes. Just, make an effort. Of course, Shannon is scared of the koi fish. Gotta love it. Got to love it. Shannon just, koi fish, I feel like one's gonna get me. They look hungry. I mean, honestly, Shannon was already writing her own obituary. Killed by 500 or so koi fish.
Now, wouldn't that be some shit? You went through all that, and a koi fish got your ass. Not the driving into the house, the koi fish.
Nope. Oh my God, and the way these women are destroying this house that Gina is trying to sell.
Yeah. First of all,
I know it triggered you.
Dumb idea. Dumb idea. I will not be hosting any event at an almost $9 million listing that I could potentially sell.
With all the whites? Like,
no, thank you.
With their little hibachi. Was that a hibachi, girl? Would you call that?
It was just a regular travel grill that you put the charcoal in, which this is what I'm talking about, Heather. These are the moments that I like to see. Yeah. She's carrying this little, and her assistant went to Walmart to get it or wherever and brought it back for her. And she just carried it in there like she was just like, What? We're making hot dogs. Let's not mess up and her logic. That is such a smart idea. When you go next time we go to an
not
Airbnb,
to clean a grill.
Just bring your own little small travel grill so you don't have to worry about scrubbing the grill down when it's done because it gets so disgusting. Brilliant.
Which, by the way, people don't use the bristle brushes to clean your grill. You will possibly end up with one of those in your stomach or throat. It is a thing. ER doctors say it all the time. You use a sliced onion, get the grill really hot, and clean it with the onion. Anyway, sorry. PSA for the day.
Well, that just gave me a lot of panic for no reason. Okay.
Yeah, just don't.
We ate barbecue and that bristle brush was around. Okay.
Don't use it anymore. Just get it flavors and
I
kind of.
feel like it's too late, Caitlin.
You're still sitting here, so we're good. I think. Your stomach may be full of little bristles. I mean, you're doing okay.
I'm hanging in.
Yeah, we're hanging in there. So then back over there at Big Bear, I'm such a mother that I am wishing these women were wearing helmets while sledding. Yes, I know. I sound like a helicopter parent. Anyway.
No, I was thinking the same thing. Like,
You
why
were?
aren't they
Okay.
wearing helmets?
Like, God, girls, like, protect the noggins. God. Well, Alexis has to call Johnny. And when he calls, she's like,
Oh my gosh, it's like a porn star laugh. I can't do it. It is you. Like, it's just enough. I'm sorry if that's how you really laugh.
oh. It's all too much. Part of it is she didn't totally act like this when we first met her, but maybe that's why, I don't know, maybe she felt
dignitized when we met her, apparently.
No. And she may
That
have felt
old
like a
Christian
Christian by
dick
Jim.
didn't work very well, apparently. So this one seems to be working just fine.
Quite well. Okay, I'm going to put in here just for our audio listeners. We are going to do this into 2 parts because Georgio and I love to chit chat. So if you were listening on audio and you're not on the live YouTube, please check the feed because we will be putting up part 2 shortly after. Okay. How's that for being a part of the live where you have to do pre-recorded parts? Thanks for joining, besties. Okay, so for audio, if this is where you're listening, part 2 is where we are at going from Alexis Bellino's pornography laugh. Alexis Bellino, you're a pornography.
She is a pornography. The way she threw her feet up in the air on that FaceTime like that. What kind of... Can I just say this? I do not identify as a Christian, although I respect the view.
The faith. Uh-huh.
However, how are you going to just be so, I'm a Christian, and then go on a show like this and throw your legs up and talk about how you're getting dick down 4 times a day by a man you're not married to?
Oh, well, no, Georgia, that's why she keeps saying that they are getting married. So that she can be
But it doesn't matter. That's
married.
not, there's no loophole in the verses that say, if you're planning on getting married, then go ahead and do it. I thought it was like,
promised.
I get that she's been married before, but I'm saying if you're going to go into this again, I know a lot of people that treat their next marriage the same way. Like they want to go into it the right way, so to speak, through their faith. And in this sense, it's Christianity.
Yes, honey. That's why she has the promised ring.
You know,
remember, promised in the eyes of the Lord, the promised with a D, because she's getting that D ring.
Dick. That ring meant promise me dick 4 times a day, Johnny J. Did she put like a big gold chain on his neck too when she's like calling him Johnny J in the bedroom? Like, what are they? I feel like they get dressed up. She looks like someone that puts on costumes and like role plays like really like stupid things.
Yeah, like, it's like she's not that imaginative. She's doing like a French maid.
Whatever she can find on Amazon that's like Prime next day delivery.
Spirit Halloween.
What? Yeah, you know? Especially now. She's definitely going to find a lot of like...
Yeah, they're everywhere now.
Wear. I just wonder if he gets dressed up too.
Oh my God.
He just seems like he giggles the whole time. Or like he just doesn't seem like someone that he would... He doesn't seem like someone that would just take charge of the situation.
He doesn't seem like someone who would put... He wouldn't put effort into the act. Like,
no, that's what I mean. I feel like he would just be like there, you know?
What? I got a big dick. That's all you need.
Maybe that's why Shannon was paying for shit for a long time. She was like, oh, it seems worth it to me.
Just lay down, John.
Oh, no.
Do you think when Alexis
Those-
dresses up
those-
that she like dresses
Those
up
are
as a
people
bunny
that
and
do
makes
not
something
need to
sing?
have their sex tapes leaked.
Please God, no. No. That ring footage is not footage.
That situation, we better be getting up to it because I have a lot to say about that.
I am so sorry. Now, this is so horrible, guys. Now I just imagine that like some of the ring footage is just of Shannon.
No. Mm-mm. I'm not doing this. Sick. Sick.
Okay, I'm so sorry. We will stop.
My God.
Told y'all it's been a while. A different, Okay. Anywho, when Tamra says, "Oh my God," okay, this is even worse. So when Tamra says that John looks like a weight's been lifted off his shoulders, and that she knows what a pain in the ass Shannon is, and doesn't know how he hung on to it for so long. The 150-pound weight, you stupid bitch.
Oh my God. Wait, was she saying that Shannon's 150 pounds? Is that what she meant?
Yeah, there's Shannon.
Oh, I didn't even pick up on that. I was like, did he lose? Good for him. 150 pounds. Damn, he didn't look like he was 150 pounds heavier, but
you know what? Actually, she was talking about the fact that Alexis's Jesus jugs got off of him, and now that she's on vacay, he doesn't have those 150-pound jugs on top of his face. But anyway, I just we know Alexis doesn't even weigh 150 pounds soaking wet either. I am closer to 150 pounds, guys. Come on. We're not shaming that weight. At least we fucking better not be. We don't shame any weight.
I love that number. So I think that
great number. Lots of muscle and blood inside of my body. Okay, we're done. Yeah, this is also where I'm put off. Tamra, quit buddying up to John. I would have preferred to see her be like, so, Alexis, are you sure about John? Are you sure? Rather than being like, John, you look so great. Yeah, you look like you have this weight lifted off of you. Eddie's always loved you. No. She doesn't need to.
I think Tamra knows what's good for the show, and I think she knows the more she gets messy like that, the better for the edits. I also think she doesn't give a shit if people are pissed off at her. I think at this point she has gotten a thick skin around this. She knows what
her
the deal
tagline.
Is. Yeah, that's my point. I don't think, I don't think she is affected by the fact that she knows that when this is all edited down, obviously she's going to come off a certain type of way. I don't necessarily think in the same breath that she gives as much of a shit in that regard as it's coming off on the show. My personal thought.
Yeah. Well, Shannon tells Emily how Gina said, well, before that, you were, she says I'm sorry. I always get Emily and Gina's names mixed up because in my mind, Emily is supposed to be Gina and Gina is supposed to be Emily. And they look like okay. I will never not go on about this at least every other week. So in La Quinta, Shannon is sitting there telling Emily about how Gina was saying that before, how she was so far up Tamara's ass that maybe you were becoming meaner. Well, she said that what Gina actually said was that Emily was being aggressive because she's lodged up Tamara's ass. Those were the words she used. Now, I loved Emily's in confessional. Well, first of all, I've always been mean and aggressive. Welcome to planet Earth. I'm like, yes, Emily, that's how you do it. But listen, Georgio, I think we're going to have to admit this. You and I are the same way Emily is. The fact that we're like, I'm not pissed. What are you talking about? I'm not pissed. I'm not pissed. I'm just going to stare daggers at you with my eyes. I'm not pissed. What are you talking about? Why do you think I'm mad? Stop asking.
Stop
me.
asking me if I'm mad.
As I'm like, eh. Like, but Caitlin, Georgio, your head is starting to spin around, and I see pea soup flying on the wall.
You all keep sleeping on Shannon. Shannon knew exactly what she was doing. She didn't want nothing to get turned around on her on that weekend. She said, let me go ahead and tell you what Gina told me yesterday, Emily, because I care about your friendship with her, and I don't like it when people talk behind the backs. Because remember when Shannon was in the kitchen, she looked over at Emily like, oh, shit, are you going to start now? Can we get our food first, girl? Let me get my drink.
The table.
Shout out to the editors for showing us that was not water that Shannon was drinking later at dinner. It was her vodka drink that she was making.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
I have the screenshots.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, Tamra Judge.
Wasn't water. Look, could you imagine if I was on this season? I would just run through the house. Like, it's not water, Shannon.
I know. Jesus Christ. She's not driving. Let a girl live right now. For fuck's sake. Also, you know, it's funny. My next notes were, can I just say thank you, Gina, for having such a good sense of humor about the confessional look. Okay. So yeah, it was in there. We just jumped up. But Emily cannot take it anymore at dinner because she, you know, I don't even, you want to know the truth though. I don't even think Emily was all that mad. She just knew this is what she needed to make happen for this.
She was quiet. I think she was trying to figure out, how can I spin this? Because I really don't give a shit, but like, I need to use this for something. That's why Shannon told me.
I mean, you
know how many times I feel like I would be so slow in the moment when someone on camera were to be like, can I talk to you outside? And then gave me information. I think in the moment I would be a little slow to know why I'm being told this information. And I would have just carried on. But I think that's what Emily, I don't think she was as mad.
No, I don't either. I think she just was like, well, fuck, we just filmed a whole scene outside doing this. Now I got to do something with it. Shit. And okay. So when she brings it up, she overly, because if you look at it from this point of view, it's kind of even funnier because the way Emily brings it up to Gina at dinner finally is that she's telling Gina that she was told that Gina said she was aggressive toward Jen at Gina's dinner, but says to Gina, you said before that I mean that I've changed and you don't even recognize who I am. And Gina's like, well, I didn't say that. But, you know, I did get offended. And Shannon says that Gina said Emily changed. That's quote unquote. That's what she said she was saying. I don't know. It's a lot of she said. But Heather cannot stand. Heather's like, no, wait. This needs to be about me. Mm-hmm. Can't allow it. So she turned. Well, Gina, I think you have changed. I think you've changed. All right. You know, I think Emily what I believe Emily is attempting to do here, though, because either editing caused it to be left out or she didn't get to it, is that Gina's the one who is influenced by Heather, not Emily being influenced by Tamra. Okay, Absolutely. Let's just call a spade, but I don't know if Emily ever got the chance to get to it or not. I think that's where she was trying to go as she was calling Gina out on all of this. I think honestly,
that too, because Emily alluded to that to, who was she talking to? And she said, I feel like she's like so up Heather's ass, like in terms of like whatever she wants or thinks that's what she's going to do kind of thing. So I agree. I think she would have led in with that and been like, actually, I think you're influenced by Heather. But Heather was like, nope, I'll take it from here.
Yep.
These paparazzi photos.
But that's the thing is, it is true. Gina seems more influenced by Heather than Emily seems influenced by Tamra. Yeah. Emily, if anything, just seems, Emily's always been this way. Hello. She literally yelled at Kelly Dodd, I will kill you. You know, like she is not afraid to fucking go there. Okay. This is not this new Emily. If anything, the only new side of her we are seeing is that I think she's just feeling a little bit more comfortable in her skin around these women after she's put in so much hard work to be at a size that she feels comfortable. She's always been so beautiful. So
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't
always
matter.
thought
Whatever
she was
size
good.
she wants to be is what size she gets to be. That's for
She's
her to
always
decide.
she's always looked great.
She's always truly okay.
Mhm.
No matter what size she's been, she has always been significantly smaller than the quote unquote national average for a female. So, it's just she's around these people. Like I would look like a giant next to all of them myself. So, that's just everyone just shrinks. That being said, I think she just is more confident and comfortable in her skin. So she feels more, I don't know. It's not even like she's taken things further. She just seems more comfortable taking things where she always has. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Like she's not, and I'm not saying I thought she was hiding behind any type of body insecurities in her behavior before. I just think that she's just like, I can lift all of you over my head because I lift weights bigger than all of you.
I
So
mean, essentially, like no one's gonna really go to bat with Emily like that. Like,
Mm-mm.
And no, I agree. She's not changed. And I don't think that Tamra's influenced her. I think she would have said these same things to Jen, like, let's say, she would have said that regardless of Tamra being there or not.
I think so too. I mean, she's always done this. It's just how she is. And also, if she'd had the same amount of espresso martinis, then absolutely she would have said the same thing. Oh my God. Do we really care anymore whether Heather had an assistant call the paparazzi, whether Terry did, whether Heather's child did? No, we don't care. At this point, we don't care.
Can we just put this to bed and say that someone on her team called? Can we just move on? It doesn't matter why you called them, Heather. It doesn't matter. We have to move on. Every celebrity does this. Every influencer does this. It's not a big deal. It really isn't.
It's not.
My God.
You're just too stuck in your old school mentality and you're embarrassed. That's it. Well, in Big Bear, Tamra brings up to Katie at their dinner about this whole thing. And let me just be real here. My biggest takeaways from this bullshit are this. Heather, again, can't compare what Shannon said about Gina and CPS thing to, and all of, Gina's DUI to this quote unquote fake information about the paparazzi at Disneyland. Not even remotely comparable. Now, Tamra telling Katie that she was set up, I don't think is wrong.
No.
But also Gina made it clear that if Katie didn't say something, we did see her say this on camera. So we have to also go off of that. If you don't tell Heather, then I have to. But it was too obvious she was doing that because she was scared of Heather. She wasn't doing that to be a good friend. It's clear, like it's so obvious.
Well, why are you then saying when Katie does bring it up, you shouldn't have brought it up? You just told me to tell her you were going to tell her, which she wasn't going to tell her.
No. I mean, look, if Gina had just gotten her story straight from the get-go and been like, yeah, you know what, we talked about it and I thought it wasn't going to be as big of a deal as it is and I apologize. That would have been.
Or she could have just been like, Heather, it's not a big deal.
Can you imagine trying to say that to Heather if she did get let's say
I would lean right in and be like,
hook in her
you
craw.
need to get off the horse. Let the mouse go.
You've had your fun.
Oh my God. Can
Tamra
you
tells
imagine
Katie
Sutton and Heather Dubrow getting into it? My God. I would watch an entire season of that. Oh my God. Give us Crappy Lake with Sutton and Heather.
Oh no, that'd be boring as shit.
You think so?
Yes, because you would know that neither one of them actually stayed in that goddamn motel. It's Luann and Sonia. They'll take wherever that y'all are gonna pay me. I will stay in a trailer and fuck old boy over here named Ronald so that you can have some entertainment. They don't need the checks badly enough. but I would love to see them on a Housewives show together because there would be kind of a what I am saying to you, what I'm saying to you. It would be such a calm argument.
No. Oh my God, it would be so hysterical. Oh my God.
With Sutton rolling her face, Heather pulling leeches off of her stomach. I mean, it'd be.
They need to bring back Ultimate Girls Trip and put those two on one stat.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah. Yeah. They would get annoyed by each other on a trip, I think. I could see them doing that. You're the type. Now, Tamra, when she tells Katie that she got set up by Gina, I can't fully decide if it's 100% that Tamra thinks that, 100% that she's producing because she's very much a seasoned pro, or if it's just 50-50 both, which I'm thinking maybe now that I'm saying it out loud, it's 50-50 both.
I think it's 50-50. I think she does know what Gina was doing. I think she knows behind the scenes what game that was about. And so I think she was also she likes Katie, you can tell. So she wants obviously to keep including her. So she's got to give her something, so that she can go back. Because if it's really smart how they do have a cast member like that who doesn't give a shit, who will go in and cause, a ruckus and then play producer while being on camera, because it makes it seem more real, I guess, if it's coming from, it doesn't feel like she was told that before she got, because if Katie sat down and said, I really feel like, and she kind of did, but if she sat down and she's like, I know for a fact now that Gina played me, that would feel like your producer just told you that in the car on the way here and you were so gassed up that you had to say it. But Tamra bringing it up like that, I think kind of, I don't know.
Gina gave it some reality.
She's being messy.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, why are we using that very old Vanderpump Rules storyline from the worst season of Vanderpump Rules ever, pretending that Jen is actually going to set up an OnlyFans with feet pics? And
oh my God, no.
Tammy, go hammy.
No, I don't even care about
Jen
that.
Wasn't Jen wearing moon boots all day before you put that foot in your mouth?
I'm sure they showered after they went sledding before they went to dinner.
Ew, I don't care. I don't care.
I know. First of all, everyone needs to understand how much I fucking love apple pie. I will never, ever be able to eat an apple pie ever again because of that scene. And I'm not shaming the kink, because I could give two shits if you like feet or not, if you like feet and food. I don't care. Go live your life. I wish that would not have been why couldn't you just take some pictures of her feet and then be like, girl, just post these on only? Why did it have to go into a pie and into your mouth? I can't talk about it. It's going to make me throw up.
Okay, well, speaking of throwing up, Alexis and John are brought up for the 500 millionth time in the 500 millionth day. Tamra is asking Alexis about John's winner. And it's just like, ugh. Because Alexis freaks out when Tamra dares to say Shannon told me something about that size. But I liked what Jen did here, okay? And you have to admit, no matter what, she's a really sweet person at the end of the day.
I'm telling you right now, this is that scene where I was like, see, this is why last season I was like, girl, what are you doing with this piece of garbage? Like, you are a girl's girl. You can tell. She's a girl's girl, maybe too much sometimes, but like in this moment, because no one's allowed to say Shannon's name in front of Alexis, don't you say the S word? Don't you say the S word? And it's like, excuse me, friend of.
Exactly.
You're lucky you're on this trip with a onesie on your bed. Like, you need to calm down.
100%. Because here's the thing, too.
Look who's in my world now.
Oh, my God. Like, what a psychopath. You know, like, Jesus Christ, Alexis. Get a goddamn grip.
She was so excited to say that to her. That's why you know she's so self-produced.
And then the way she went,
because she was so happy she got to use it in the right context.
Fucking hell. Oh God, Jesus jugs. What are we gonna do? Here's some okay, to take a darker turn here. When Alexis is questioned on everything with Johnny, in her confessional, she says that after her mother died, which was fairly recent to this filming, that he's the only one that was there for her. Now, this is my armchair quarterback theory. I think she jumped into a relationship way too soon after something so traumatic happening.
Yeah.
And it's comparable to Teresa and Louis.
Yeah.
Teresa's father had passed not long before she met Louis, and look what's happening there. And I think she has clung on to what she views as safety when I don't think that's John. And somewhere here in the comments on YouTube, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I want to make sure. I wish I could see where it went. Someone made a point. I want to, oh gosh, sorry, friends. Someone said basically, if I can find it, yeah, can't find it. Okay. Yes, Just Kelly. There you are. I'm so sorry. I hope Alexis is paying attention.
I was just reading this comment.
Yeah, I hope Just Kelly said here on YouTube, I hope Alexis is paying attention to how Johnny or JJ, I like that better. We'll call him JJ, is dealing with Shannon. Someday that will be you, Alexis. Fully agree. And that's what I'm saying is she's too not only digmatized, but there's that psychological aspect, you know, losing anyone in your life, let alone your parent, my God. And then she had her engagement called off. That was a lot. And there is that aspect of me that empathizes with her. And I think that that's the part of her that the screw is loose, that she has become hyper fixated on John as her savior almost. And it's scary. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's putting all of her emotional eggs in his basket now so that she doesn't have to really deal with the loss of her mom, which is hard. And I've been there outside of having, you know, I don't know if I wasn't in a relationship who I might have gone to, you know what I mean? Whether it was like good or not, you don't know. You're not really in, I'll speak for myself, you're not in a clear state of mind to assess anyone around you that maybe putting on the, like, I don't want to say JJ's love bombing her, but like he clearly took a liking to her. They liked each other very quickly, and now they're moving really fast. And to Just Kelly's point, I would be really concerned if I was with someone and they were treating their ex like that, regardless of how it ended. I would be like, why are you so steadfast trying to take this woman down like that? Like, move on. If it's over, it's over. We're together. Then why are we still, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Because that's the point, is she keeps going on about how Shannon won't stop talking about John. But guess what? Shannon would have a whole hell of a lot less to say if he hadn't decided to sue her. She wouldn't be able to say hardly anything.
But she never even said anything about John Jansen up until the lawsuit.
She'd been terrified to, and I think she still is.
Well, she probably didn't want to bring him up more so because Alexis was going to be on and she knows what that would have looked like. So she kept it to herself. But this lawsuit coming out when it did, conveniently, is dirty. And I do think that Alexis is not looking good. Like, I don't see how this is solidifying you a full-time role when all we know is what John Jansen tells you. Because I don't know anything about Alexis 6 episodes in.
No, and I don't think any of the women around her who didn't already know her do either, because Alexis ties her identity to her faith and whatever man she is with at the moment. That is it. Those are her two identities. Alexis has no identity. And that's where also I think she has tied up, like I said, after losing her mother. And it's understandable. That's such a vulnerable time in someone's life.
Absolutely.
And I just feel like he may have been taking advantage. And also, of course, he's going to say he'll marry her if the good Christian girl will bang him to, you know, what's the word? To throw out the values. I can't think of the word I was trying to say. But Alexis makes this point. Johnny's ready to talk about these videos that he has from his ring footage. Now, I do have to wonder, maybe there's some legal expert here listening, watching, because I am I'm interested just in general about this because California, last I knew, was a 2-party consent state when it comes to recording. Now, if Shannon wanted to sue his ass for this Ring camera footage, I wonder then if the fact that she knew there was a Ring camera present, if that was considered consent by going ahead and entering the home.
It could be. I don't know for sure, but I would think that would be for any situation, because if someone was breaking into your house, then technically you wouldn't be able to use that footage because they didn't consent to being recorded, but isn't being there and knowing
the
that
trespassing though. But I wonder if the trespassing negates that maybe. You know
but
what I'm saying?
Here's what I don't understand in the sense of how this is coming out. It smells, I know it's not. It smells like blackmail.
Smells like it, honey. That's exactly what it is.
Because, and I've been hesitant to just calling it blackmail straight up.
It
because
is.
I do understand that there's like, there is a line, but like if you don't do this, but it's essentially that's what she said in that scene, or the edit, I should say, was if you don't shut up, the videos will come out and they will ruin her life. Like she's saying it with a lot of gusto, like as if she would be pleased to see that happen. And for that reason, you can stop talking about your faith now because I've stopped listening. So if you're on here and using it as a platform to get more people to convert over to Christianity, I'm going to say it's a hard no, because if that's the path you're leading as a quote unquote Christian, no, thank you. And I think Jesus would say the same. No, he wouldn't actually. He would probably help her through that and teach her not to do that. I just find it to be really disgusting that she's pulling something that's not a part of the actual incident to add another layer to this. It's really, really too much. Like, I think this is way too far, even for the situation. And I'm being hard on Shannon. You all know that. I'm not really letting up on this DUI thing because I do think she kind of got off a little skimmy easy. However, the additional footage that John Jansen has on his security Ring cameras, like that is dirty. You're going to go and stitch together
from his own living room and things like that.
First of all, let's be crystal clear. Shannon is not 100% to blame for the reason why John Jansen and her could not make it work. They both were toxic towards each other. They both enabled the bad sides of each other. He woke up one day and realized he didn't want to do it anymore. So he chose to leave. Okay, great. You left. Why are you now going all the way back, looking through your Ring camera footage to try to be like, oh, well, here's all this. And if she doesn't align to this, then I'm going to put these out. So my follow-up question is, if he did put those out, if she did, couldn't she go after him for trying to, I don't even know what the term is. Is it slander? Well, it's not slander if there's footage of her acting crazy, so to speak, but like.
It is blackmail because he's suing her at the same time. So I wonder if that can be kind of, you're right. Like, if that can be used as leverage against not paying him, well, you're blackmailing her. And as far as she knew this was a gift, you didn't draw anything up that said that this was a loan. There was no official document. And then you are threatening her with releasing private footage that was taken in a private home. So I don't know.
She's a public figure. So it's a little bit different now, because if she was a regular person or whatever and he did that in the community, like he sent it to his friends, yeah, maybe she could do something, but no one would care. Now though, and if Alexis is sitting there screaming that this could ruin her life, that's why I'm looking at her cross-eyed about it, because it's like, well, then that's another reason why you shouldn't be saying this on camera, because now people are going to wonder what is on that footage, which is exactly what you were trying to do with that.
Well, I'm sure John knows just as well as anyone else, you can cut any footage up to look any certain way. And it's interesting. So it kind of triggers me to a truly psychotic ex-boyfriend I had. I will never mention his name publicly. Don't ever ask me. He was the definition of a psychopath that would have done absolutely something like this. And it what it brings up in me is, even now that I've had distance from it, because I was in my early 20s. Now that I've had distance, I look back and I go, you psycho, I didn't do anything that was worthy of what you claimed. That he would do something like that. That I know he would have tried to scare me into something like that. And now that like I said, I've had this distance, it makes me go, man, he was just using scare tactics when really he had nothing. And I wonder if that's also the case. I mean, so what if Shannon may have said something really horrible to him? She was also drunk as hell. So that's no excuse at all. But
I'm sure he's been drunk too when they've been fighting. They both have gone drinking together. And, you're waiting until filming starts to start bringing all this stuff up all of a sudden. Like, why wasn't this brought up when all the other stuff was coming out?
I just know exactly who John Jansen is now that I connected something personal in my life to that. And the way Shannon is scared of saying anything about him, she's scared. There's something else, man. I don't know what.
There's something dark that was going on between those two that they are not.
She was protecting him.
She was protecting him, I think. And I think she was also embarrassed of her own behavior in it.
Exactly, the drinking, I think.
Why she's not jumping to tell the detail. But on his side, he's trying to pretend like he's just been this nice guy that Shannon tried to ruin his life. And I'm not buying that, buddy.
No.
You may be the biggest dick in Orange County, and that's why everyone's hopping over like bunnies when you're single. But also, let's not speed down the aisle there, dear, because Alexis, you're getting your alimony still. So it's a nice little chunk of change too. So you sure that John Jansen's going to financially be able to cover that and more?
Yeah, I'm just getting this sense that the biggest thing Shannon's terrified of coming out is how much she truly was drinking and how often she would be getting drunk to a level that is concerning, and maybe the type of things that she would say. And I think there was something else entirely happening with John, but for Shannon, that was mortifying. I think, that's just a theory.
It's a theory, but I think that's what's on that Ring camera shit, that's what he wants everyone to see the most. He wants to see Shannon losing her mind when she's drunk.
Which I'm not saying is not possible.
It's a lot of things, or it could be something else, but nonetheless, if it's just clips of her running out of his house drunk and showing, oh, she's done this for a while.
That's nothing.
Well, I mean, it's something in the sense of like, well, you clearly have a pattern of drinking and driving.
Right. No, but I'm saying
and
that's
what they're trying to go at to scare her into like whatever silence, because they know that this whole DUI has shamed her. So this additional footage would not make that look pretty.
Right. I mean, I guess that's nothing new for
us.
No,
it's not.
We can already theorize that pretty easily surmise that I should say. From
definitely not her first time leaving his house drunk.
No. No. But at the end of the day, Tamra has gone on interviews. She and Shannon are really battling it out in the press tours here.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It's just not. I don't like it. I love it when the Trace Amigas are having fun together, even when they're not sitting there getting hammered. Like, I just think they're fun to watch together. They're cute and fun. But Tamra said that she knows Alexis is not going to be able to release the videos, but she says she knows essentially that she's going to bring it up at the reunion. Well, you know what, Jesus Jugs, I don't know, man. Maybe you need to get back on some Xanax, because I think that this is not going to go in your favor if you do that. I don't think it's going to go well for you, because without the proof, honey, without receipts, which we also don't want to see the receipts because it's too much. You've gone too far now. And now what are you going to do? You better reel it in. I highly doubt she will.
She won't. But you know what's going to happen here? She's going to get used and tossed out as like a distraction storyline, because that's all she is. She's just in there to scream John Jansen so that Shannon ruffles her feathers and then like gets all shaken up. And then what? What's your storyline? You're gonna keep going after Shannon No, they're not gonna bring her back for that.
There's no point.
It's one and done.
Well, I'm interested to see what happens the next episode, and can't
Find out
wait
on
for
Thursday.
Yeah. Can't wait for September 18th either. Don't want summer to be over though. Okay. Let me before we sign off, Georgio, tell everyone where they can find you, please.
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Georgio Says. You can find my podcast, Georgio Says, anywhere you get your podcasts. You can stream my Housewives Tales Bravo unofficial soundtrack anywhere you stream your favorite music. Oh, and something different and exciting, not Bravo related, but I will plug it.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Jeff and I are now doing a podcast series under the Georgio Says podcast called Welcome to Reality. And we are discussing pretty much our favorite TLC shows. So like 90 Day, Welcome to Plathville. We have Sister Wives coming on for new season. So we do that episode once a week as well that you can check out if you are a TLC fanatic.
Yes. Y'all, I love me some 90 Day, honey. Messy. Y'all know, I hope you know, you can find me at Besties by Caitlin, Caitlin, on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. I've been using Threads more than Twitter. It's a safer space. You know what I mean?
I need to actually get better about that. I'm glad you said that because I saw someone else today and I was like, gosh, I need to get on there.
Do it. It's a more fun space. And we're like, hey, if you're coming over here from Twitter, be kind. Before I plug a few more things, I just want to say hi to a few people here in the chat because I see a few names. Hi, Adam. Hi, ATX Mel, Miriam. We said hi to you, Jeffrey. Hi, Candy. And I see a few more. We did bring up Jess Kelly's comment earlier. Hi, Tracy in real life. Jill George. Hey. And Besties, be sure and go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're getting close to that little 1,000 goal. And anywhere you listen to Besties by Bravo, please leave a 5-star review. It means the world. And I love our Besties community. Try and join the Facebook community. I will post in there as often as I can. I just want it to be like another place for the Bestie community to hang out, have fun, talk some shit, because that's what we love to do. And be sure and check out the Pop Culture Besties merch shop on Etsy. I have uploaded so many new designs. It's insane. It's been a non-stop thing because I get an idea and I just have to go. Anywho, my friends, I will see you on Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard, 12 p.m. Pacific here on YouTube. And until Thursday, enjoy your Tuesday evening and your Wednesday. Bye.
Bye, guys.